5 more seconds in, we're going to be loading this game. Should get in there quite quickly, as we'll be the only ones not in the game yet. Once again, there's a 3-minute delay for any spectated games, so that it's fair for them. I don't know if my voice carries that far, but I know that it carries that far. Alright, cool. We're loading into this game now. We got, I don't know, we got some team composition here. Nothing too untraditional. We got smites on the jungles. We got exhausts on the supports. We got exhaust on the support, ignite on the mid, teleport on top. Looks like we have ourselves a game of League of Legends. There might be keybindings coming out right away here. I'm not quite sure. Okay, and it started. That's good. Yeah, there's the pause. Players are going to have to do key bindings. We've been moving them around the tournament center, known as Node Internet Gaming Cafe, also known as a few computers in a room. So if that's a tournament center, then I'll eat a crow. Some small talk about their bums and buttons and bindings. Make sure they put obligatory faces during it. They know a lot of different emoticon faces. I'm really happy for them. All those years of MSN finally paying off. That Janet definitely needs to play serious, and Aurelia is actually SpongeBob. Lucian's confused how grilling works, and Lysandra wants to roll some dice. Foreman grills are the best. Was that J4? Because that'd be funny then, but otherwise I don't really understand it. Well, the champion's gonna proceed to the traditional spam, taunt, and free ward locations. Here we're seeing some taunts being spammed and some wards being placed. Good. Here is 4 players in a bush trying to see if they can stack all their character models exactly onto the same position. This is some of the things that you see out of Counter-Strike Source games during zombie infection mode. Now it looks like the blue teams managed to stack their characters a little bit better, so they might not be infected and survive until the end of the round. There's some more taunts, good. I really hope that that actually comes out of the bush and isn't stealthed. And, okay, the taunting and warding phase is now over. They're going to go back to their own jungles and proceed with the video game.
Don't worry. Brom was trying a little bit.
Here comes the first wave of minions. First thing they're going to do is immediately press the Q ability, pretty much regardless of what it is. Cast it at the minions and then start auto-attacking each other. One of the characters' range is substantially farther than the other one, being able to net him a lot more damage than the other one. Though, once you take an auto-attack, the minions get a little saucy and they'll start hitting you back. That's evened up the damage down in the middle lane. Both teams have helped their jungles get their buff. Now they're doing their There's secondary camp. Wukong's probably going to take his own race before doing red. No, he's going to skip on right to red. J4 has decided to do the race first and then blue strategy. Zed and Lysandra are now exchanging skills and health and blows and health pots. I'm proud of them. They understand really how the game works. So that was good initiation by Braum, shielding to one of the back minions and then landing the slow on Janna, forcing her to flash. There's something cold on the back of my neck and I don't know what it is, and I cannot turn my head to go look at what it is. I'm just going to assume that that was something sanitary. Energy drinks, of course. It's an internet gaming cafe. I don't know what else it could have been. In the meantime, we have J4 putting a gank down on Aurelia. That's going to blow her flash. Not much action after that. Wukong has gone back after his first grand tour of his own jungle. He is now comfortable within it. He knows exactly the layout of the land, and any invaders, well, he might be able to repel them. Ryze continually dishing the damage out to that Aurelia. He does not want her to gain an advantage in the lane. Ryze's mana pool is kind of exchanging with Aurelia's health pool, so we'll see how that works out for him. In the meantime, still throwing Q-like abilities down in the middle lane, probably hitting minions with them. This is actually really punishing that opponent mid lane. In the meantime, we have J4 bringing up a counter gank onto this plan that Wukong and Aurelia had schemed. Unfortunately, they did not have a ward to be able to see that J4 had walked around, placed himself in tri-bush to make a great counter gank onto the Ryze. Aurelia took a little bit of damage trying to bait the Ryze in to maybe being out of position, but J4 just managed to finish the kill. Netting the, well, I guess J4 finished the kill. Ryze got the kill, which is even worse news considering he's such a late game champion. Oh wow, looks like Zed was able to tower dive that Lysandra. She probably should have just left and not tried to get those CS with 100 health. I mean, who am I to say, but she ended up getting ignited right in the face as Zed takes his shadow clone to the other side and walks back through the enemy jungle. Bottom lane, still a bit of a snooze fest. Still some minions dying. For that first bit of aggression, not much is happening down there. Ryze has come back now with a substantial amount of crystals. I don't really know why Tark's fallen out of such favor with characters like Ryze floating around buying all those gems. You figure that guy'd be rich by now. Really, a lot of pressure being dished out by the Ryze through the auto attacks and the Qs. And it's kind of hard for her to re-engage because Ryze brings Spell Vamp in his utilities. So just easy like this, continuing to auto attack her. Not going to be able to get away from those target abilities. Another kill goes to Ryze. That early game advantage that he got really being shown. Lysandra able to get away from the fate that Zed tried to give her, clawing her way out of that one for sure. Back with health potions and throwing Qs at minions, where you should be. Come on, guys. I don't know if we missed some action. No, Tristan and Braum are still at the old CS a bunch of minion score, so I'm guessing that they decided to take a timely backing just on some sort of buy or health mana situation. Rejoin their lane so they can hit some more minions. Jungle J4 now warding the opponent's blue buff. We'll see how that turns out later in the game. One of the advantages that Lysandra has in the game is she's able to CS kind of the minion wave down without losing a lot of mana if she wants to do it efficiently with her passive. Even though she's low on health here, she hasn't been forced out of the wave because her passive mana is kind of giving her a buffer to, instead of losing a bunch of health, just spam skills out of range against that Zed. And Zed doesn't have ult for a little while. He's not going to be able to prevent her from doing that. Hordes get cleared out of this bottom jungle. Good awareness by J4 to maybe do a little bit of roaming to clear that out. And now with those wards gone, though there's a ward on the blue buff, Wukong has spotted it. Oh, almost too late. Just barely hitting that clone. When you clone, you are going to teleport a little bit outside of the range of your character. It is a movement displacement, so if you're just about to be hit by a skill, you can kind of outskill it by pressing your clone right away, and then your character will move to the other side of it, and the clone will be hit by the skill. Rai still not putting up with that Aurelia. She's only level 5. Not quite getting that kill, but definitely not letting her, crawl her way back into that lane. Abusing the amount of money he has as well, getting a bunch of health potions. Interesting thing about Rise is he gets to go 21 utility or something stupid like that, because really he doesn't scale that well with the damage abilities in the tree, so you just take utility, give him a bunch of health, or not a bunch of health, but a bunch of mana, a bunch of regeneration, a bunch of movement speed. Those are really the things that Rise has problems with, so you might as well take the utility tree. Now in the bottom, it looks like J4 has decided to impose his will onto the bottom lane. He is the foreman, and he will not put up with people living in this bottom lane. Tries to catch Lucian, not quite getting there, and after being called, not going to have the health to dive the second turret, so they just go and clean up the Janna all willy-nilly. Actually, here's an ultimate. Tristana, well, she's not deterred. She jumps right on Lissandra. She does end up paying with her life, but I mean, she probably would have died anyway. Her team had left her for dead, so she might as well go and try and take them off guard. She does end up, because the first attack that she does, Avarice Blade, giving her that 10% chance to crit or whatever. Yeah, giving her a crit right away, which lets her team clean up after she dies. Really kind of making a dent in the CS lead. That is Rise 68 to 39, not the position that you want to be in. Really only has 2 Dorians and a Crystalline Flask to Rise's almost completed Rod and Tear of the Goddess. Not exactly looking that great for her there, but that's what happens when you get a gank and then you just, if you fail a gank and you give up a kill on that, you can't just leave that lane alone. It's not going to be able to recover, especially because you didn't affect any other lane during that time. You were there, and then you traded jungle. You traded jungle prowess with each other. Well, now that J4 doesn't have to come and gank for Rise, because he knows Rise is going to be hit, he's going to go gank somewhere else. If you try and follow the J4 around, the J4 is now stronger than you are, and the top lane is going to start losing. You might have to re-gank that right away. Sandra doing her best to clear the minions against Zed. He now has the cooldown reduction from that Brutalizer, which kind of just puts him over that pinnacle of being able to clear a wave effectively. Tristana may be getting a little too bold here. I mean, Braum is right there behind. Actually, land a sweet ult on Janna, and Janna has to counter ult. Ult for ult is the only trade that goes down there. But now because of the health that Janna lost, they're pinging for Dragon. So good to note the fact that Lissandra is actually pretty here in mid lane. Nice. She's a little low in health. Nothing that she couldn't go affect this dragon fight, but mostly she's there isn't much of a situation where she could go prevent this, if they even knew about it. I don't know if there's a word there before, if it was cleared on the way down. That is very likely. But as of right now, I believe that dragon was done in the dark, and Purple Team's probably not going to have the timer on that. Now down here in bottom, we have a huge cataclysm. There's no escapes on the opposing side, so it happens once in a blue moon where no one can get out of J4's cataclysm. But when it does happen and it's just outside of range of turret, you're really stuck. And because of that, they get the double kill. That initial play by Braum led to her having to use the ult. Can't get out. Zed leaves his shadow, probably just about timed out, but gets the last auto attack for like the 30 puny damage he needed there. Gets the kill before Wukong can show up and pin him down on the turret. Wukong now playing a little bit of a dangerous game. Playing with the Zed's not the first thing I would suggest, but I mean, he's got a turret, so what's... No, but oh, Zed has an ignite. Baits him right into that. He knows that he has the advantage and just tells Wukong, you know, at any point you want to come and try and fight me, I didn't have to blow my ignite on Lysandra. I'm quite a bit ahead of her right now. And I mean, for the Wukong player, it's really hard to predict something like that because you'd think if your mid lane died, 1v1, like, they'd have to use something, right? But Zed just kind of been, got a Cutlass, got a Bork, was on a kind of a damage spike, and kind of just caught Lysandra in an awkward position on her tower where she didn't have the cooldowns to prevent him from just attacking her to death. One of the advantages you get from having a melee character over an actual spell, like a melee caster, a physical damage caster, is that your auto attacks are potent. Lysandra can't really just get into an auto attack fight with the Zed because Zed's building all damage items, and even though it's affecting his skills primarily, that's really what he wants it for. The key is that it's also making his auto attacks a sufficient way to actually kill your opponent. Up here at top, we have the Aurelia ult the wave down because I got pushed to my turret and I'm behind strategy. Really just going to be one of the only ways that she gets CS. Now the discrepancy is up to 113 to 66. Ryze definitely abusing the hell out of that Aurelia, and she's not had a lot of help. Her teleport's up, so I'm guessing that she's going to be teleporting back to lane, as there's no dragon or anything like that to prevent from happening. During that time, Ryze is probably going to get that turret. I don't know if there's much they're going to be able to do about that. Well, no, it might have good timing and not be able to be stopped. Blue team says, yo, hey, can you make sure nobody stops me from taking all of their nice thing? Could you be my lookout man? I swear, we'll pay you like at least an earnest cut of this. Huge fight going down on this snake area. We got a Lysandra ult preventing or freezing the damage from coming in. But then we have just a larger follow-up from Team Blue. There's 5 people here from Team Blue. They're Team Blue a little bit earlier. And Ryze is significantly ahead of Aurelia, so he was able to burst pretty much the entire team of Purple down. Well, everybody was in that intermediate, all my spells are blown, and we're kind of low time. Ryze just, you know, killed a bunch of people, and they definitely came out on top. Zed got most of the actual kills from, I think maybe he got all of the kills. Trishana probably got one, but Zed got most of the cleanup kills because he kind of just went in and finished them. Did a little bit of a martyrdom so that they could get some more pressure and ensure that they actually did get the kills from that great initiation. Other weird thing that happened is Wukong got stuck in a Ryze cage while he was ulting. So he thought he would ult and just, you know, kind of plow over them. He was full health, but he just got stuck in the cage. Some of these CCs are really good against Wukong if you use them before he uses his ultimate. Tristana now taking up the far middle lane. This actually happens a lot during the mid games where your bottom lane, the tower dies, or like you kill your opposing team's bottom tower, right? And now you can't really get CS because it's pushed all the way up to the second turret, and you don't want to be there by yourself, so you can't just go and farm it. So you kind of bring your mid to go farm the bottom lane because he's a lot scarier in a 1v1 situation, and your ADC gets to farm the safe lane, and then when they want to collapse down bottom later or into mid later, you have a little bit better rotations. It's not as scary as someone who has an insane amount of burst potential to rotate through a jungle that you might not have perfect vision control of. J4 not landing the knock-up on that flag, but definitely pressuring Lysandra into a position she doesn't want to be in. Rise continuing to pursue the Aurelia to the ends of the Earth. Earth ends here, right by this turret. At least for Aurelia, that's when she stops playing that lane and starts joining her team in the center of the universe, known as their base. I mean, like, he rises basic auto attacking the turrets down, forces a flash, kind of an awkward flash location to come out there. Got bullied by the tank minion into being on the less positive side of that flash, but you know, with all those utility trees and such, he was able to just strut up to the Aurelia and throw in the extra Q that he needed. Zed's ult being stopped by Janna's shield and ultimate combo. You know, you miss 100% of the kills you don't instantly ult on Zed. So sometimes it's just better to, and almost all of the time it's always better to just instantly ult your opponent. If they mess it up, you probably get a kill, and if they don't, then you just disappear. Braum shielded to the Zed, who had already teleported backwards, so Braum just kind of like said stand behind the shield and landed in front of the opposing team's minion. Not exactly what I thought would happen, but hey, I mean, it gets the job done. It looks like J4 was entombed mid-dash, but Lysandra having a hard time cleaning up that kill on J4. So is Wukong. He goes in for the kill, lands a large ult, but wasn't able really to clean up that fight like he wants. He just does not have the damage output, only having like 47 CS at the 19-minute mark and 1 assist. No dragons, no turrets. There's no extra money for him to be able to get enough damage and make that ultimate potent. It really comes down, she's looking to make some sort of a decision on whether or not her opponents will turn on her. Chases them down during the during the calling, but still just not enough damage to beat this Braum's tanky front line, and not bold enough to stop the Zed. Oh my goodness, what a trait of life. See, that's the thing about Zed. You might not live, but you'll probably kill them. Like, I'm diving onto their turret and I could disappear. I could totally... No, probably not. But you know who I know is going to die? The person that has a big red mark on their head and 50 health. That person is definitely screwed. Nowhere near the farm amounts where people like Lucian and I guess Aurelia can get a Quicksilver or something like that to prevent Zed from ulting, because the tanky line that Rise and Braum and J4 are bringing are forcing them to build damage items, so they can't afford to prevent Zed from just killing them instantly, and it's really showing with his 8-2-1 score. Now we're into the sieging part of League of Legends, where a bunch of teams stare at each other and Tristana shoots with a turret. Nobody can stop Tristana from doing this, so it's just going to kind of probably happen for the next 4 to 5 minutes until the turret dies. No one can stop Rise either. He's not split pushing because he's just been in his lane the whole game. I don't really think that's split pushing. Aurelia, it would be the split pusher if anything, but he's just running down top lane, not being affected by, like, no one's ganking him, no one from mid, no nothing. He's super strong. Good entomb on that Tristana. Gonna get her dangerously low, but Zed and J4 just plow through the side, depleting all the life pools and dreams of their opponents. So we're down to 1 turret left, which is being proxied by 4 characters, but not dead. Tristana, yes, it didn't take 4 minutes, it took 1, but she did manage to shoot the turret until it died. We got respawns coming up soon. Probably not soon enough to stop this. Maybe the inhibitor. I'm guessing that with Zed at full health and Tristana a little bit beyond the front line, they might go for this inhibitor. Oh, they definitely wanted it, but they're not going to get it. We get a Wukong ultimate that's going to hit 3 or 4 players of the opponent team. Tristana gets a nice reset there, gets right over the wall. She's probably going to live. Braum lands a nice stun onto this Lucian who's pursuing blindly, not aware that the Rise is just in the background. Oh my goodness, Tristana. She's jumping. Yeah, she has played Mario all on the opponents. They're out of Goopas. And now the only thing there's left to do is collect the coinage reward. There'll be fireworks and everything. Unfortunately, one of the things that you can't really do against Tristana is chase into a position where she's over a wall and you're on ward, because then she's gonna just shoot you over the wall. Just too much range on her. If she can shoot Baron without being hit, she can definitely shoot you over blue buff. I don't know when this game's going to be closing up, but it should be pretty quickly here. We got 20k difference on these two teams. Usually don't see numbers that high, and it really shows. Zed ults the Janna, she dies. I mean, all of the players were there to try and stop him, but he cast one flight of skills, and there is nothing they could do. Lissandre lands a good ult, but then is immediately punished by J4 once again coming from the right side. Just the way that the map's oriented, you're most blind from the right side. You kind of see the upper side, you want your character down the bottom, and you miss things like that. Now Wukong's going to do an ultimate ability. It's not going to be relatively close to enough. Rise! I'm not saying that's greedy or even correct, but he just ignores the person that he has Rune Cage because he knows that he's just going to save that morsel for later like a bit of cereal in his beard and kill the other character who is on the turret. Come back for... Oh, wow. Landra was not happy with the way that he was treating his players and threw an ice crystal right into his eyes. With that, the second turret's probably going to go down. Zed, I don't think we'll continue to tank this turret. Probably won't die here. I mean, there's 3 characters. The game might not end immediately. No, here's Braum and a Zed ult just eating that Lucian alive. And Leona, and Leona's not even in this game. What's that? Aurelia, that other female character, and the Janna, and the game's over. That's going to be our game. That was Chicks Dig Elo versus Hyperia. Chicks Dig Elo coming out on top of that game. They are going to be coming out of the bottom bracket back up to face Team Undefined for the championship node title of Ultimate Destiny. We probably have quick matches right away here, as this will be the last game in the tournament. But in the meantime, we're going to take a little bit of a break. See you soon.
Stay close.
1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea, but as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would away forever, exalted in the sea. As long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little heart, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. We set out on a mission to find our inner peace, make it everlasting, so nothing's incomplete. It's easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, there's no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, gave you another name, switch up the batteries. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing the little heart, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. I'd rather well, it's time to start the show. Lost my heart and lost my soul. Now it's time that you won't know. I need to see me through. Sometimes it seems the going is just too rough, and things go wrong no matter what I do.
Now and then it feels like life is just too much.
You got the love I need to see me through.
When food is gone, you are my daily meal.
When friends are gone, I know my Savior's love is real. Your love is real.
You got the love, you got the love, you got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love.
It's free. Don't I know? It's free. It's free. Don't I know? It's free. I know, I know, I know I can count on you.
I know, I know, I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. But you got the love I need to see me through.
Sooner or later in life, things in love you lose. You got the love I need to see me through.
You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love. You got the love, you got the love, you've got the love.
It's free. touching each other. Two spirits trying to carry further. Two people just speeding, barely touching each other. The two spirits trying to carry further. 'Cause you are and Cause you are and Cause you are and
Let's board a plane without no destination. Take your time, you're gonna need some patience, girl. A holiday.
very low key on the profile. Catching feelings is a no. Let me tell you how it goes. Curves the word, spins the verb. Loving it cause so freak what you heard. Rolling with the fatness, you never quite know what the half is. You got to pay to play, just for shorty bang bang to look your way. I like the way you work it, top notch, trump tight every day. You're blowing my mind, baby, in time. Maybe I can get you in my ride. I like the way you work it, no diggity. Bag it up now. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it, no diggity. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it. 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 Bag it up now. I like the way you work it. 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 Bag it up now. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Damn, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Play on, play on. Bag it up now. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Damn, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is freaking awesome. Now I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is freaking awesome. Now I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Damn, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Play on, play on. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Damn, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity, about to bag it up. I'm gonna pop some tags. No diggity.
Save me.
Tick, tick, tock, tick, tick, tock.
You think I don't like all the things I can't like, so why are we losing time? I don't get up or bring me what I need, so why are we losing time? It's like I've seen the light, but I haven't known. Save me.
Okay, we're here for the last game. Let's bring up this interface here. No more fun fact. The last series of games, alright?
First of 3 games. Let's get this right, guys. Come on.
That's not the right image. Alright, we got a GIF going. It's huge. It's too big. Let's shrink that down. Let's stick it in this little corner where it belongs. Yeah, I pressed no. Alright. Now that I've realized that I'm on push to talk mode, we got some bands coming out. Thresh, Morgana, and Rise are going to be gone. Banned out by Team Undefined on blue side, and Akali, Janelise Hit are going to be banned by Team Chicks Dig Elo on purple side. Right away, Undefined is going to pick up themselves a Kha'Zix. Good early game jungle. Lots of pressure. Able to get resets. Able to jump on things. He's a bug. That's a series of things I know about that guy. Or girl. I wonder if there's an actual gender on Kha'Zix. I don't actually wonder that. Next we got Lucian. Nami as a bottom lane for purple team. Team Chicks Dig ELO. No, never mind. It's gonna be the one, the only, the Draven. Gonna try and bring some glory. Maybe a little bit of revenge. This is a match that had happened earlier today where Team Undefined actually came out the victors. So they came all the way through the winner's bracket. Um, Team Chickstick ELO went and plowed back up the losers bracket, wanting a rematch here in the finals. So we got some Draven and Nami on the purple team. Looks like Zillion, probably, on Team Undefined. They're not quite sure what else they're picking yet. They're just choosing champions at random. And by random, I mean a bunch of strong characters they're probably changing between, while deliberating what they're going to pick. Looks like they are going to go with Syndra and Zillion. So we'll probably see a support Zillion and a mid lane Syndra. Support Zillion we saw worked out really well for the last players to play Draven. Bringing back their carry over and over again in the middle of the fights, just couldn't focus him. And we're going to get a Syndra for a middle lane picking character, very good against Draven. He does not have very many escapes or way to stop a giant mass of dancing people from forming around him, and therefore killing him. Not exactly sure what purple team's gonna pick. We have, yeah, that was a thing that was happening, which is why I said it. We got J4, that's probably gonna stay where it is. Still decided on their mid. They're not sure what they're gonna bring to Syndra. Syndra's very strong. Doesn't lose most things. Karthus. Haven't seen that man played in a long while. Not since he was an acceptable zombie. But then zombies kind of became a little too popular, and it just wasn't so cool to be Karthus. Also, they nerfed a bunch of the revive mechanics in the game, so it wasn't as good. But he's being brought back onto this game. Onto this team in this game. That's the way I should have worded that sentence. Thank you, future Justin, for letting me know. Still no pseudo picks on the blue team yet. We got a Corky coming. Lots of magic damage. Good burst damage because he gets to build Trinity Force with the true damage proc, probably an Infinity Edge. And a tree in the top lane. Probably gonna get a teleport onto that Maokai. Gonna be able to stick him in places where the opponents don't want him. Swap around with a hobble after you have a tree teleport to your lane. And finally we have the top lane counter pick. They're still not quite sure what it's gonna be. There's obviously some deliberation going on down there. Still no decision on what that character is gonna be. It's very tense. This is the pick. It will define the game. Yeah. Nar.
God, don't pick Nar.
It's Nar.
He's not picking Nar.
Oh, he's picking Nar. He knows. He knows Nar. Nar does everything. How does Nar lose?
Nar's broken.
Yeah, I mean he's.
No. Did he actually pick Nar?
Yeah, he picked Nar. Nar's good, dude. Nar is
I
good.
can't believe I just heard.
Nar is close to very good. He might not be very good,
keep
but
going
he's
down
at
this-
least good. He's at least good. Possibly
When
better.
played by a
Alright, we gotta play a song here as per request of the staff here at Node. Let me just bring this up. What was it? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Alright, it looks like it's gonna be the last game, and so we're just gonna have to go ahead and click this. This is a pump-up song, so if anybody's not hyped right now for this last game, oh goodness, that's so loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
You will absolutely be hyped now.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
It was good. Re-energized. Waving my hands in the air listening to Let's Get Ready to Rumble. When you know you have to work in the morning and you're going to be streaming late into the night, sometimes you need to pump the jams. I didn't even know this part of the song was here. It's just like but like they never play this part of the song. They always stop it by now. I don't know why I haven't, but they do. That's what people do. Alright, that's enough. I was successfully pumped at officially that point. Past that, did not need anything else. I'll bring up chat here while this game loads in. Should be pretty fast though, it's just this computer loading in. Alright, real quick. Come on, please. There's the in-game sound, that's good. So I managed to bring up the pop-up in time, but not in time to read anything, so back to the game. Oh, here's the pause. We'll fix the key bindings. In the meantime, we'll fix the logo as well. There we go. I have the official creative design director at Node Internet Gaming Cafe. He told me how big the logo has to be, and that's good. Now we know, and we can officially make millions off of our marketing campaign. Oh, so much binding to do. These high-tier complicated strats. Good luck, have fun. Well, we can't have that. That team's disqualified. All caps piss break has been called. and Chubby Monkey wanting to make sure that his opponent has a good time while relieving himself. And it's also supposed to be fun. You know what? I'm in a state of duress. I don't think they should be having fun during their piss break that only takes 1 minute. Should be in and out ordeal. There's not much room in a 1 minute pick brace to have fun. Or even be lucky. What do you need to be lucky? You're in a 1 minute piss break. What luck do you need? Looks like the stream's running. I don't know if you can see anything. Well, yeah, it looks like there's no video loading. That's awkward. Just casually awkward. I mean, it's loaded on OBS, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a personal problem that everybody's having but me. So, no, I didn't get it loaded on this computer. I'll try. You can't just say that your team was fantastic in chat. That's not how it works. Alright, the pings are real. Everyone knows where they're putting their ward down. There's going to be 15 wards down on the map now. Immediately, this renewable resource known as ward is going to be plundered for its cooldowns. Now here's going to be coming the next phase where you taunt. Yeah, there's the spam taunts. Even before Director Cam decided to fly me on over to this this bush, I knew that's exactly what it was gonna be. Just spam taunts. And also, not quite interested in what the opponents are doing. Director Cam knows that, well, all 5 players are here. This is the only interesting thing that can be happening. Another pause. Karthus has attempted to surrender, and then the game was paused and people said X's. Oh, the sport has 10 minutes on the computer time. Obviously that's going to have to be fixed. Oh, the stream is 3 minutes behind, that's why, right. That happened in real life, and then my brain is obviously 4 minutes behind because it didn't catch that happened. Cool, we're back into the game. We're playing the video games. Is there like a button that I can press for next character? Like, do these work? No, those don't work. Do these work? No. Alright, I guess this is the best way to do it. Click on their faces a bunch. Cool. Teleport is on. Well, we know what. We know. What? It says. It says what their key binding for it is. What? I wonder if that's their actual key binding. If it's anyway, we're gonna get a blue buff and a red buff onto these 2 junglers, and we're gonna proceed to the hitting minions part of the game. We got Gnar vs Maokai, Karthus vs Syndra, Zillion and Corki versus Nami and Draven. Raven says he'll take that, and well, the only thing he got really was a bomb there. Up top we have oh geez, Director Cam, come on now. You give me some motion sickness. Lots of AoE damage coming out of Team Undefined on this bottom lane. Corki and Zillion very, very much abusing this Raven. In mid, where it's kind of a battle of spawned objects, we got Skittles versus versus Timbits. I'm not exactly who's gonna. I don't know exactly who's gonna win there, but I'm sure somebody will spawn something to death. Good poke damage by Draven, getting Zillion down to 2 bars of health, though he does eat some bombs for his trouble. Kha'Zix has finished his first round of doing the jungle thing. J4 has decided to come up to see if he is in position for a gank. Doesn't really look like they have much to go on up there. And that guy's pretty close to the tree. And so J4 is going to go back. Big Gnar turns into Small Gnar. Back to the little abusing, close to Teemo-esque rat that we know and love. Those comics are adorable, and they should never stop doing them. The bottom lane look like it's finally getting to the point where they might be running out of health potions soon. Draven's ran his health potion. I actually still have 2 health potions on Nami still, so that's going to be quite a while before she runs out of mana. Rahil going to be what's buffering the health onto Draven. We have J4 just run down the lane with a gank. But Kha'Zix is in the jungle, in the bush, just waiting. A well-placed bubble, but unfortunately we get isolated damage on the Kha'Zix, just instantly giving that J4 for an easy triple. Well, I mean a double and a single onto the Kha'Zix, but yeah, just the isolated damage doing tons of work. We did lose the Kha'Zix, but that means that there's going to be a double buff on Corki, and he's going to also get a double kill. Those two are off to the base to go spend their mass riches they've acquired. That was like an oil rush down there. They don't even, they're going to have to start building some towers that are redundant. Don't even put people in them. Just build a bunch of skyscrapers. They have so much money right now. Big Gnar yelling at his opponent. Actually doing a lot of damage with kind of the abusive combo if you... Oh, pause. The abusive combo of punching you again, throwing a rock, picking it up while punching you. I think they're all skills. Kha'Zix says the key bindings are screwed up. Screwed up. Karthus is not awake in half. Syndra says it's good. Whatevs. The key bindings obviously didn't mess up whatever Kha'Zix was doing there in the bottom lane, because they definitely came out ahead. And the game's going to be re-resumed. Back into a position Maokai might not be too comfortable in, but pretty familiar in, pushed against the tower. Karthus is going to be repping the Fnatic team, spawning some Skittles against his opponent's Timbits. Timbits are a little bit bigger, so I think he might have the advantage there. Draven taking some abuse out of the Gatling gun. More specifically, the threat of the armor piercing with that damage spike that Corki received in getting a phage and a red buff. Maokai has successfully sustained himself back up into a relatively healthy position. He hasn't really even lost any mana, so definitely something to look out for. J4 decided to go see if there's a pink bush in there, but there was just a tiny bug the size of a human. Or I guess an in-game human too. Most of the characters in this game seem like they're quite larger than your average human being. Draven getting picked off by that red buff as he runs away. Just too much AoE damage coming out of the bottom lane. Now we start getting some aggressive words. You know what? They're gonna trash talk them. They're not going to be able to do anything because they know that their mother has been slept with or something. But no, some aggressive wards are going to let them abuse the tower without being in fear of the J4 over the wall counter dive. Now we're in an awkward position for Team Chicks Dig Elo. They're kind of stuck in a spot where they're doing defensive warding and definitely not on the side of the finance department that they're wanting to be on. Maokai has kind of just been undeterred up top. Nar has a lot of lane abuse, but kind of usually needs a little bit of help sustaining the damage once you use the big Nar mode a bit. It's hard to continue the pressure. As well as Maokai is not that bad against Nar. Nar uses his skills quite often, which recharges his passive. It looks like Nar's coming out ahead. Maybe on this trade? I don't even know. It looks like... Oh, wait! Looks like we got a flash and some stacks. Ooh, that's a nice boomerang. Gonna go clean up the rest of that kill. Two team members from blue wanting to move up top for a little bit of revenge against that rascally Nar, but not exactly able, as Nar does have a ward up there. You're not going to be able to catch him by the time you get spotted out halfway up your river. Meanwhile, in bottom, as we're watching Draven really suffer against this Corki, who has now gone back and got a Sheen. So not only did we see burst damage out the wazoo before, and now we have auto attack burst damage as well. Putting the Draven at a serious CS disadvantage. Is 25 CS at 9 minutes. That's not where you want to be. Most professional players, the way they judge their CS is CS per 10 minutes, and 100 is considered like exceedingly good, I guess. Especially assuming you're laning against opponents. Corki is getting relatively close to the number. He's going to be at like 85 yeah, probably 85 when the 10-minute mark hits. Draven, well, he's going to be close to half that. So definitely going to have to look for him being a little bit behind in this game. Wow, Syndra's stun lands so far away. And Kasic's jump goes, for lack of a better term, so far into the lane. Really just from like a position of being in the bush right over here, and Syndra being in the middle of the lane, they're able to kill Karthus like basically on his tower. That's going to net them a dragon, making the gold differential in this game now, well, moving up somewhere close to 3k. Or sorry, 4k. Nar still doing his best interpretation of Teemo, yeah, but a lot better. Nar's some sort of like the original birth traits of given to Vayne and Teemo, with the tiny irritants, but also the ability to do percentage damage and seemingly everything in a 1v1 fight. Kind of abusing the Maokai in the lane, but his passive is healing him up quite well. I don't know if Maokai is going to decide to take another 1v1 battle to the death, especially after he realized that maybe it's not going to work out like that. I can't just 1v1 him. Karthus lands some sweet abilities, but it looks like the bot lane is bringing up the rear on this battle. The time bomb's going to go off, kill the Karthus. J4 is not going to be able to escape the Syndra, though she did go down mid. Zilean having that big advantage of just being able to negate the gold given by kills. Like, not only is he bringing them back to life, but he's preventing a massive amount of gold gain. Like, it's not like he's just making a trade. He's making it plus 300 gold every time he shows up and somebody just gets ulted out of the blue. Basically the opposite of a blitzcrank. A blitzcrank usually pulls someone in and you get a kill and you're like, oh, that was great. Zilean comes and brings you back to life instead. So we'll see they're going to be picked up on Zilean, really potent as a support character if you're being focused or killed, which, well, most Zileans are, but more so if you're in a position where you have a lot of frontline and you're ahead, you can get a Soul Stealer on a support, because the AP scales really well. obviously with Zillion, considering that he has great scaling on his time bombs and his ultimate. But even with other supports, they've really amped up the ability for ability power. Oh wow, yeah, your name is so descriptive that I accidentally used it. Thanks, Riot. But basically, you know, it's gonna make your abilities better, just like it says in the name. And small things like giving your carry an extra 10 damage, small, right? Free 400 gold, just for buying the Soul Stealer is definitely quite nice. And that goes back with basically the cutest animation of all time. Maokai is not able to stop him because he doesn't know that he's doing such cute antics in the bush. And he's also really not that preoccupied with it. He more so wants to maybe get this red buff. It's warded out and the jungle's not there yet. He might see it in time, but no, we have Syndra just carry it off into the yonder. Give it to that Kha'Zix. Feed the bug like he's in an aquarium. And gonna keep the Kha'Zix rolling with a new red buff. I'm not exactly sure what the duration on his oldham one was, but enough that they wanted to feed it to him. Jerry Forrest's gonna bop him on the head, tell him not to do that. Fortunately, not actually landing in the knock-up part of the flame flag combo. Top lane being pressured very hard by this support jungle. Top lane Maokai, little death ball that has is quite a ragtag team, but hey, he gets the job done. Zillion doesn't need to be bought. Corki already has a Trinity Force at 14, well, almost 15 minutes in, and I'm assuming he has a little bit of money considering he was down there for a while. So yeah, Corki had a Triforce. Draven had 2 physical damage items in Pickaxe and BF, so not exactly what you're going to be able to use to counter that. Exhaust comes out on Karthus. Will it be enough? I'm not exactly sure if it will. He ults. I don't think this Kha'Zix is going to die, though. Zillion's not convinced and ults him, but it ends up being put in the waste bin. The duration runs out. Kha'Zix used his healing on the Q, or on the W, that's what it is. Yeah, on his shoot. And that gave him more than enough health to survive Karthus' ult. Draven showing, well, you know what, you might be strong, but can't survive a flurry of 7 axes when you don't return. You don't have the option to return any damage. Then gonna try and get the kill with the time bomb. Not quite enough stacks on the Soul Stealer. Gnar doing typical Gnar things, punching down the lane, being irritating, casting spells you didn't think would hit. Maokai doing the same thing, except for his skills that you know are going to hit because they take up so much of the screen, and then healing. And Boomerang missing, kinda going right through his model. But now we have Kha'Zix with all of these early game kills. Gonna come and gank the lane, force him into a position where Maokai is able to just twisted advance onto him, easy cleanup. Score is now 9-3 for Team Undefined. Wow, this Draven really showing his prowess. Not deterred by the fact that the bot lane is so much stronger than him. Maybe also betting on getting a few more crits during that fight. But not quite able to finish any of the characters off through the Zillion ult. And that's going to have a Maokai teleport down to basically mono this dragon with the help of a little bit of a little bit of time bombs, and a few auto attacks. Those things actually go a really long way when it comes to doing a dragon. Back into this lane reset mode where a bunch of people have died and some of your stuff got taken, and time to go find some CS in the hidden pockets, such as jungle and, well, mid lane's always pushed. There's always CS mid lane, that's why everybody always coasts there. Karthus not putting up with the fact there's so many minions in his lane. Feeding them rainbows full of Skittles. Although, I mean, Karthus actually not that rainbow anymore. He kind of has off green as his entire palette. Nice and all they redid his skins, but maybe they should have fixed the character as well. Maybe they thought it was fine. I don't know. I think he struggles from not having any actual hard CC, not having any gap closers. There's just a bunch of things that I don't think they'll be able to give to a kit with a character that has just a global AoE damage alt. Definitely a little bit nostalgic seeing Karthus in a game though. Got some more jungle wardage clearing up. Both teams not so comfortable with the amount of surveillance they have in each other's realm. Cork, you're gonna push a bot. You're probably gonna push that close to the tower, and then maybe come join up with his fellow blue comrades. Looks like Draven is going down there to start the counter push. Nar has done some baiting there, though we have another Zillion ult. These Zillion ults are always on point. The Zillion's completely roaming free, and they're having a very hard time actually getting to a position where they can kill someone without being immediately punished by the Zillion ult. Though Nar has taken that into count and killed now 2 people by jumping on them as a giant dinosaur. That is the correct amount of people you want to kill if there's a Zillion on your opponent's team. At least 2. Corky easily shredding the last bit of that health out. And now we got Nar kind of in an awkward position. I mean, he's a little bit tanky, but I don't think he's going to be able to stop the amount of burst damages coming out of Kha'Zix and Corky. And for their efforts, they're going to look to try and take this top turret. We got some pings from the purple side saying they're gonna come defend that top turret. Draven making a dent in the CS lead. He's actually he's kind of been playing by himself down there at the bottom, and the rest of his team has been feeling the consequences. So hopefully Draven is able later in the game to put that gold into a position where his team can be lifted up by it. Oh, so high. Goldie is now starting to grow even larger. We got roughly 7k. I mean, after these waves, no, actually it's a healthy 7.5k lead probably. I'm not saying that it's an unwinnable position, but it's definitely not the one you want to be in. Now they know that they have wards out in places. That's going to prevent their movement to defend their 2 turrets and mostly keep their opponents out of their jungle roaming back and forth. So that gets pinged out and cleared. 6 spots that pink ward up top. I'm going to take that out now. Mid being pushed out once again. A little bit of teamwork out of the two carries here, helping each other to kill the minions. That's not fighting, that's teamwork. This is a range play. Nar growing into Big Nar. Might put some of these down this Maokai. More likely he just crushes this lane up top. Make sure it gets pushed out. Raven uses his ult to kind of clear the lane. But when Nami goes to inspect the job he did, she's faced with a series of explosions. Good flash from Draven to get out of the Syndra damage, although the initial damage is enough for them to be pushed to death. Corki and Syndra both go down right away. Karthus not being able to get away from that giant enemy bug. Nar not putting up with such antics as leaving to Karthus ult. Looks like Kha'Zix is just gonna go into the bush and back. He swept it, so he knows that nobody's gonna be there to stop him. But yes, sure enough, Nar has found him. Nami is pinging him out. Nar's trying to get the chase down on him, but Kha'Zix just too fast with those. Not even boots 5. He's running cooldown boots. So just by the fact that he's a melee character. Giving him a lot of additional speed. Now Purple Side's gonna look for maybe a dragon off of the little bit of an advantage they got there. They definitely didn't lose that last team fight, even though Syndra managed to last about, I don't know, three champions worth of damage. They didn't necessarily lose it. Nar switches to Nar, so I don't know if this is the best time to fight, but they have a catch on some of the carries. Kind of pins between this giant Nar and, you know, a bad position. Wow! Karthus dealing lots of damage to the Syndra. She doesn't, her cooldowns are down, she can't stun. And we just got a big battle royale where we have Nar, who is currently ranged, but rocking a Sunfire in the battle of, in the midst of a battle with 3 of them. Unfortunately, there's no rest for the wicked, and Draven goes back to base on a death timer. Too much AoE damage coming out from the likes of Maokai, Zillion, and Kha'Zix. And once one person dies to Kha'Zix, it's only inevitably gonna be another. Here's a nice look at Syndra's model. Apparently the most important thing on the map. Other than Kha'Zix, who killed the golem and backed. Give this cameraman a promotion. Karthus doing the thing where you get a wraith from the other side of the wall because you have a ward there. Same thing that Draven was doing earlier in the game, if you had noticed that. It's not that you get any advantage as far as fighting goes from being on that side, but you do definitely get the advantage with it being kind of awkward to go into that part of the jungle. As far as pathing goes, it takes a while to get down there, so if you can kill it on your way in and then just proceed past, it's definitely going to increase the time that you have roaming and warding and whatnot, and reduce your getting the money time. Back to a little bit of a farm ward minigame here. Both teams still very conscious that either team could win a team fight if they misplayed. Though blue team has a bit of a buffer with the fact that they do have Zillion support and they have the gold lead by 8,000 gold now. It's not going down, but it's not going up as fast as it was before. I'll look for, as far as gold is concerned, a point where the team starts breaking even and there's just a, consistent 8,000 gold lead. That's what they really want to do. Is they don't need to catch up right now. They need to catch. They need to break even with their farming ratios. Make sure that the opponents aren't continuing to get further ahead. Not much they can do about it, though, right now. I mean, they have the vision control of Baron. They know that their opponents could do it at nearly any time, but with Big Gnar and Karthus and J4 on purple side, it's going to be really quite risky. They're just going to keep vision control of it, keep making purple side guess when they're doing that, and hopefully force some picks out during this warding midi-game. A midi-game is a combination of mid and mini-game. It happens for about 30 minutes until both teams get bored and then fight each other. Maybe sometimes even one, but if one team decides to board, the other one almost always agrees. It's like poker, you just have to call your opponent or they know that they're just going to start getting stuff for free. I think that's how it works. Always call? Is that poker? Meanwhile, J4 is in a tough position of trying to get some vision on that Baron, but they were doing it and had already finished it. So instead of being met with some happy faces around the Baron campfire, they're met by a giant forest of people ready to plunder their village. He died right away. Gnar came in because he was Big Gnar, so if there was a fight there, it would have been really good. He landed a 3-person stun ult. Unfortunately, there was no one left to back up after he died, and he had to just ult and run away. Karthus now being caught out on the backside of the tower, landing down an ultimate, but I'm not quite sure that Karthus has the ability power that he needs here to really make a dent in the team after he dies. Especially with something like Baron buff, the amount of health regeneration that you have makes it hard for Karthus ult to be really good. This is something that didn't used to exist, this natural health regeneration. It used to just, give you a bunch of damage and that was it. But now with this health and mana regeneration, you kind of get to this point where, well, Karthus' ult takes 3 seconds to channel, and you're going to get about 120 health just for being alive during that duration of the ult with the Baron buff. So half of your damage is negated right there. Gnar pushing down bot lane. Kha'Zix's there to meet him. They will salute each other from opposite sides of the brush and commemorate them on their excellent CSing ability. They both did quite a good job of using AoE ability on the wave, killing it instantly. Dragon's being done by Kha'Zix. Well, the rest of his team is just throwing wards down. Kha'Zix's not taking much damage from Dragon anymore. He has a Hydra and he has the proc on that healing proc on his beetle spikes. I'm not sure what that skill's called. Beetle spikes, I think that is called. Void spikes. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Voids and beetles, they're the same. He's going to heal quite a bit off of that. Looks like purple side is kind of just 5-man clearing. They're really scared of where their opponents are. They don't have good map control. They know they're not in Snake. They know they're not in that red bush like single T2 bush. And they're not also in the middle of the bottom lane, or probably not at the middle of the top lane. So there's about 4 spots on a very large map that they know they're not. When you have a position where you don't know where your opponents are, kind of like this, you just have to assume they're waiting somewhere in the loom. Because if you don't, you're going to end up like that J4, just walking into a bush, the whole team's there, and dying instantly. Trying to clear some waves. Syndra's throwing tons of damage down to that Karthus, so she lands a stun, which gives her opportunity to bash his head in with another orb, puts him down to about a third. He's going to have to go back and heal before any sort of fight happens on this turret. Maokai's pushing the top lane. We're going to try and get maybe some split pressure from all 3 of these different lanes. Kha'Zix keep mid pushed well. threatening to rotate to the bottom while Maokai actually pushes the top out in kind of in a position that really nobody's set up to stop. Obviously, he's not going to be pushing it too quick, but he definitely will get rid of it eventually. Wow, and Syndra lands a great ult, but it's just not enough. I think she was exhausted, so she didn't do enough damage. Then Karthus comes in to go clean her up, but Karthus dies right away. J4 puts them all in the cage, and now we have a big Gnar trying to chase down this massive team that is blue team. Wow, and those two characters just got obliterated. Corky Zillion doing way too much mixed damage. They don't really have a good way to negate it. And now Kha'Zix may be biting a little bit more off than he can chew, forced to ult out. Nara decided, you know what, maybe landing on his head's not the best idea with ADC that can probably crit me once, killing me instantly. I am going to flash before I ever get out of this jump. Lots of abuse coming from Corky, and Nar responds by throwing a window at him, and the piece that was attached to the window. A little spiteful, a little resentful, but you know, sometimes you just gotta use what's around you. I don't think Nami was exactly expecting not to be punished so heavily for checking that bush with a ward. Kha'Zix is now doing his best interpretation of a dance move, but unfortunately there is no move that will get you out of the massive AoE that is Karthus. So back to a little bit of farming, a little bit of catching up. It looks like we've finally broken the point where Purple Team is not really losing the gold lead anymore. Now it's 6K. Even though they lost Baron and they lost pretty much all of the dragons, they're at a spot where they're starting to break these gold ratios even. They're at like a 4,000 gold. No, wait, not a 4,000 gold. That's the wrong number. I thought it was 4,000. It's way higher. It's 1,300. They're definitely being pushed down on gold advantage. My mistake. That 5 looks a lot like a 6. Because I'm not very good at numbers. I was wondering, how could they be making this gold lead back? Killing Maokai is one, but they lost Gnar in the top lane. As both teams just kind of go up to the person doing the split push thing and doing a team battle on them. Baron, the bigger one of the two, is now alive. It's going to be focused down pretty quickly by the in-waiting blue team. Dravenhall comes out. Maybe we're looking for a steal here. Maybe we're looking to just get a little bit of poke down. Whatever it was, blue team's walking away with the Baron. Purple team's walking away licking their wounds for better or worse. They're going to keep trying to stall this game out into the late game. Draven and Karthus really potent in the late game. Draven, when he gets to the 3/3.5 or 4 item build, it really starts getting to the point where you can one-shot people. Though Corky's showing off, you know, I'm no slouch in damage. Here's a 1,000 crit for you, Golem. You can take that back to your people and stuff it. Kha'Zix has now taken a blue buff really quite rapidly. And not much the opponents could do about that. Karthus kind of came to the disappointing conclusion that someone broke into his house and stole his ability to cool stuff down. I don't know if that's a fridge or whatnot, but his resources and his cooldowns are just not what they used to be. Get some quick backs out of here and make a little bit of a regroup. Corky's going to be pushing that bottom lane up. Maokai is kind of just fishing for a little bit of extra vision with some wards and some saplings. And we got the 3 players from blue side pushing up mid. Oh, maybe they're rotating down to bottom. Looks like we're gonna have another brawl down on the bottom. We're all kind of aware of each other's position. It's just a matter of who gets caught out where. With the blue, gold, and Baron advantage now, it's gonna be hard for them to get it caught out and lose pretty much any fight. The most they can hope for to do on purple team is just deter them away. Looks like J4 had a good knock up there, especially followed up with the Gnar ultimate, knocking 2 people into the tower. But well, we got the Zillion ult, and Syndra and Corki are still alive. They weren't the main focus of that massive damage outburst, and also. Kha'Zix was put in a position where it was really not possible to be focused because there was a Zillion ult on him. Kind of a repeat of what we saw from the other team fights. Really close to one team dying and even getting the kill with the Zillion ult, but just not having enough damage to prevent the team from finishing this game off. Looks like this will probably be the end of the game. I was informed Karthus ulted during while he was alive and then was prevented from the damage being done. So a little bit of a mistake, especially with how close that team fight was, and it's definitely going to cost them the game here. Good game to the team undefined, going to be taking the first game down. Alright, we're going to be loading up the second game pretty quick here, I believe. Oh, I already have an invite. I'm that far behind. They already had small talk about how Karthus used his ult before I ever finished the game. That's how efficient these high tier players run. They're like, all right, solo queue game's done. Play again. Press the button. Where is it? Just waiting for these team members to get into this second game, best 2 out of 3. Running into our 10th hour straight